The SEC just dropped 2 more cases on the cryptocurrency industry, but still no word on the Ripple case. What's going on? Why is the SEC wrapping up other cases while keeping Ripple in limbo? In today's video, we'll dive into what might be happening behind the scenes and explore the bigger picture. Plus, we'll take a closer look at the latest market crash and what it means for crypto. I've been trading crypto successfully for over 380 days, consistently closing every month in profit. In the last 90 days alone, my followers have earned over $29,000 in profits by copying my trades. Want to see my verified stats? Click the first link in the profile description and start copying my trades for free today. Right now, XRP is pulling off something truly unexpected, and I can't wait to tell you why. Despite the ongoing cryptocurrency crash, XRP is showing some seriously impressive resilience. When you compare how well XRP is standing its ground against Bitcoin, you'll probably be just as surprised as I was. Trust me, this is a story worth paying attention to. Let's kick off this video by diving into 2 big SEC cases that just wrapped up. And I know what many of you are thinking right now. When is the Ripple SEC saga finally going to end? Don't worry, we'll get to that. But first, let's talk about the cases that just reached the finish line. The SEC just ended their investigation into Gemini. Pretty straightforward, right? There wasn't really a case to begin with, just an investigation into whether they might launch one. Now, they've decided to close it entirely. So why did this end before the Ripple case? Simple. There wasn't much happening. The SEC essentially said, "We might sue you," and then didn't. The SEC seems to be changing its tune, saying, "Hey, we're not going to sue you, right?" There's really nothing left to untangle here. Essentially, the SEC admitted, "Well, we had no solid reason for this in the first place. It seems like a case of a rogue administration overstepping, and now they're stepping back, choosing not to sue a cryptocurrency company that's been trying to play by the rules." Simple enough, right? But here's where it gets interesting. The SEC has also decided to close its investigation into the Tron Foundation. Now, this one was a whole different beast. The allegations were much more serious. There was even alleged fraud in the mix. This case carried a lot more weight, with layers of complexity and progress already made. Legal expert Jeremy Hogan had some pointed insights on this surprising turn of events. He pointed out that there still isn't a clear ruling in this case yet, making it much easier to resolve compared to the Ripple SEC battle. That's right, he emphasized. First in, last out. Ripple's case was the first one to kick off, making it the most advanced and, naturally, the one requiring the most effort to wrap up. Many are frustrated, calling it unfair, even downright ridiculous, as other cases are concluding while Ripple's drags on. But let's face it, Ripple's showdown with the SEC isn't just any case. It's the case, and it's nearing the finish line, poised to end with a grand finale. A settlement is on the horizon, and I believe it'll greatly benefit both Ripple and XRP. This case is the most intricate, the most layered, and when it wraps up, it's going to be big, worth the wait. There's a lot happening right now, and I know some people might be thinking, "Oh no, this could drag on for weeks." But hear me out. If it means getting clarity for Ripple in the US, I'd gladly wait months. That said, I don't think it'll take that long. In fact, I believe this is all wrapping up pretty quickly, especially since they're closing out the Tron case. Let's face it, there were likely some shady dealings with Tron, but here's the kicker. They're shutting down every case. If they're ending the Tron case, which involved alleged fraud, and remember there's no fraud alleged in Ripple's case, then you can bet they're cleaning house. Just a little more patience. My conservative guess? 3 to 4 weeks and the Ripple case will be done. But here's the exciting part. They're closing cases almost daily now. Ripple is next in line, and I'm calling it, this will be the next big investigation to wrap up. We'll soon find out how the timeline unfolds, but I have zero doubts that this case is wrapping up. It feels like a sure thing at this point. Now, the real intrigue lies in how it ends. Will it be a settlement? A dismissal? Maybe some kind of agreement? That's the big question. If it does settle, though, it could be the most exciting, bullish outcome for Ripple's future. A settlement means Ripple gets to shape the terms, setting the stage for what's next. Right now, I can't shake the feeling that Ripple and the SEC are already in deep talks, working behind the scenes to hammer out a settlement and map out what the future might hold. Meanwhile, other cases seem to be stalling, cutting off any momentum they had. Ripple might have been on track to beat the SEC and gain some much-needed clarity, but now those cases are simply being dropped. What we're all hoping for is that Ripple can hold on to its victories, settle any setbacks, and emerge with clear guidelines for how to navigate the SEC moving forward. The rest of the crypto world is still stuck in limbo, waiting for direction. So even if it takes a little more time to wrap up, if Ripple can deliver clarity, it'll be a monumental win, worth every second of the wait. But let's switch gears for a moment and dive into something else that's equally exciting. We had our first digital assets subcommittee meeting today, and honestly, It was a total snooze fest. Nothing groundbreaking, just a lot of talking in circles. Cynthia Lummis, who leads the committee, still seems stuck on the idea that Bitcoin somehow isn't a cryptocurrency. She actually said, "Reminder, we're in the early stages of Bitcoin and digital assets." My response? Can we please stop acting like Bitcoin isn't a digital asset? The irony? She keeps saying Bitcoin and digital assets as if they're completely separate things. Yet, in the entire meeting, she didn't mention Bitcoin even once. Classic. She casually called it a digital asset. Honestly, so ridiculous. I've never been a fan of Cynthia Lummis. Always pegged her as a hardcore Bitcoin maxi. And surprise, she's still driving that narrative. But let's be real, there's barely anything substantial coming out of this digital asset subcommittee. I mentioned earlier on my live stream that I considered streaming the event, and wow, am I glad I didn't. It seemed like nothing more than a crash course on cryptocurrency for people who still don't get it. The fact that these developments are happening is incredibly exciting. I don't want anyone to think I'm being negative or saying, "This is bad, we're not moving fast enough." Honestly, we're moving at lightning speed, about 1,000 times faster than I ever imagined. Just having a digital assets subcommittee actively discussing cryptocurrency is a huge win. It's incredibly bullish. So don't take this as me saying, "Oh no, this is a major problem. Why didn't they mention the Ripple case? Why didn't they talk about XRP?" That's not my takeaway at all. What we're seeing is the early stages of an effort to bring a group of people who largely have no clue about cryptocurrency up to speed on this complex, ever-evolving space. And let's be real, this stuff is not easy to grasp. We're talking about politicians, many of whom barely understand the basics, trying to wrap their heads around crypto. If it takes them a while, so be it. What matters is that they figure it out properly. The last thing we need is more politicians coming in and stifling this industry before they even understand it. If our biggest challenge is just getting them up to speed, honestly, that's not a big deal. I'm all for them taking the time to really dive in, learn this stuff, and actually get it. But let's be real. Cynthia Lummis acting like Bitcoin isn't a cryptocurrency? That's not exactly helpful. Thankfully, she's got much smarter people in her corner, like David Sachs, who actually know what they're talking about in this space. So, nothing to stress over. This is pretty much a giant nothing burger. I know some of you were curious about that, so there you go. Oh, and before we dive into the price charts, here's a quick update. Earlier today, the Bank of America CEO said stablecoins are inevitable. Even more interesting, he hinted the bank might launch its own USD-backed stablecoin if regulators give the green light. The moment I saw this, Ripple immediately came to mind. Bank of America, a longtime Ripple partner, seems to have its fingerprints all over this. Interestingly, just before the Ripple SEC lawsuit began, David Schwartz revealed something big. Ripple was working on launching a stablecoin with a top-tier bank. While the bank's name was never disclosed, Schwartz did confirm that the SEC case put an abrupt stop to the deal. But here's the exciting part. If a Bank of America stablecoin does emerge, it's hard not to imagine it running on the XRP ledger, with Ripple leading the charge. After all, this partnership has been solid for years, and this could be a game-changing development. Ripple has been paving the way for Tier 1 stablecoin launches on the XRP ledger, even before the SEC case. We've already seen Brazil's bank take the lead with their stablecoin on XRP, and Palau is actively developing its own digital currency on the same platform. Ripple is quickly becoming the go-to choice for major players in the stablecoin game. With over 500 bank partnerships globally, why would these banks look elsewhere? Ripple's compliance and trusted reputation make it the obvious choice for launching on a network they already know and trust. Expect to see more big names joining the Ripple ecosystem soon. Ripple goes above and beyond to ensure their solutions are not only efficient, scalable, and well-built, but also prioritize compliance at every step. In the blockchain world, some companies make an effort to play by the rules, while others, especially the big players, seem to thumb their noses at regulators, doing whatever they please. Ripple, however, has chosen a completely different path. The Ripple versus SEC case has essentially put Ripple under the microscope and proven to the world that this company is the real deal. For years, critics have hurled accusations at Ripple, but it's clear now those claims were nothing more than baseless noise. Let's talk about Ripple's board of directors for a second. Seriously, just look at them. These aren't just your average execs. These are power players from the heart of the traditional banking world. And somehow, they've all found their way to Ripple. Coincidence? Not a chance. It's a no-brainer why XRP stands out in the crowded cryptocurrency space. Sure, every crypto project boasts cool tech, intriguing ideas, or impressive teams. But Ripple brings the A-list. These are the people who open doors to the most influential banks on the planet. Think about it. When Ripple steps into a meeting, it's not, Who are these clowns and what are they selling? Ripple's board owns the room. That's the edge. And it's why the XRP ledger is miles ahead of most other cryptocurrencies out there. Now, let's shift gears and talk price. Honestly, I've been blown away by how well XRP has held its ground during this market crash. It's a pleasant surprise, especially when you compare it to Bitcoin. Bitcoin is absolutely tanking, breaking through all its previous support levels like a boulder rolling downhill. But let's be real, I don't think this is the end of Bitcoin's story this cycle. A recovery seems likely, but just look at this chart. Bitcoin is in full free fall mode, plummeting from 110,000 to 82,000. It's hard to sugarcoat this, it's not a pretty picture. I'm optimistic about a rebound, but right now, things aren't looking good. Now, here's where it gets interesting. Let's talk about XRP. Unlike Bitcoin, XRP is actually holding its ground. At $2 to $2.20, it's showing strong support in this zone. And honestly, the chart doesn't look bad at all. If you were to compare it to Bitcoin's nosedive, you'd expect XRP to be down at $1.60, but nope, it's holding steady. Let me show you the difference. Here's Bitcoin, crashing through its floor. Now look at XRP. Believe it or not, XRP is standing tall while Bitcoin takes a dive. This is shaping up to be a seriously exciting moment for XRP. Lately, I've been diving into the huge wave of whale accumulation happening with XRP. It's absolutely staggering. We could be standing at a pivotal point in history, with utility ramping up, the Ripple versus SEC case nearing its conclusion, and XRP ETFs going live. XRP might finally be carving out its own path. It's no longer just moving with the tide, it's building its own momentum, its own dominance. What's happening right now? Honestly, it's jaw-dropping. I've never seen XRP react this way before, and it's incredibly bullish. XRP is starting to break free from Bitcoin's usual volatility, holding a much stronger, more stable chart formation. This kind of independence for XRP is something I've rarely witnessed over the years. I had to share this with you because, while some people are panicking about market dips, this shift feels like a game changer. Wow, things are looking rough. Could this be the end of the bull market? Not so fast. XRP is showing some unexpected, exciting strength right now. It's a promising sign, and I just had to share it with you because there are still plenty of bullish catalysts on the horizon. Thanks so much for tuning in, everyone. Hope you found this update insightful.